Welcome to Backstage with Kennedy. This little show will be your remedy. From Toronto, spanning across the sea. Cool people, lots of laughs. This is your favorite podcast.
Hello and welcome. My name's Kennedy from the Backstage with Kennedy podcast. I got a really interesting guest today. I know of Andrew through Curse Blessings. I was actually, I sat down with Nolan once upon a time, and the owner of Curse Blessings, and he showed me Choices Made way back. So I've been really into their music, and then when they released this project, I was super amped. So how you doing, Andrew? What's new, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Nothing much new. Just trying to get through the day, and having a little bit of hope that things might be getting back to normal. Itching to get out on the stage and play. Perfect.
So I know you and I have spoken before a little bit, but Curse Blessings really has kind of, I want to say, taken over the hardcore scene with bands like you, Dragged In, Seized Up. Like, you guys are all kind of coming in at the same time with these awesome projects. Have you guys been kind of like working in collaboration at all, or like pushing each other, being like, hey, that's a really sick song, now we got to get ours to that level?
It's probably I'm going to say when I heard the Dragged In record that they put out, I mean, those guys are so damn good. So it definitely pushes us, and the same with the Seized Up record as well. It definitely pushes us to put out good music. But there's definitely no competition with it. But it's definitely driving us to we now know that we need to be at the same level as Dragged In and Seized Up, or else we're dragging our feet.
Exactly. I like the pun. So this new EP, obviously I've listened to it and I really enjoyed it. How would you explain it to a viewer that's going to listen to your music for the first time?
That's a tough one. Well, just listen to it and make up your own mind. But if I had to try and convince someone, I'd probably say, the mix of old school New York hardcore with California punk. Like, that's the easiest way for me to explain it. I mean, with the last couple of reviews that we've had, we've been compared to some crazy bands that I would never have. I think some reviewer compared us, or at least compared our vocals to Children of Bodom, I think, which I was not expecting at all. But I think it was Children of Bodom. It was one of those metal bands, and I guess if you listen to it, there's a kind of a familiarity with it. But yeah, it just comes down to what people like, right? So if I tell someone, do you like Sick of It All and Good Riddance, there's probably a good chance that they're going to like what we're doing, because we're huge fans of those bands, and I think that shows in what we're doing. But yeah, definitely old school New York hardcore with California punk.
Very nice. So what got you into music, Andrew? What were you listening to when you were growing up? And was it like the skate scene? Was it just the feeling of the community? What really brought you into the hardcore and music scene in general?
I think once I really started realizing what music I liked, this was back home in South Africa. I excuse me. I had a lot of friends that were in metal bands, so I would be, and most of the venues were metal venues. So really, our only option was metal, music. So that's what kind of got me into music. Maybe not necessarily playing it, but then as I got older and started skateboarding and getting Thrasher magazines, I was, starting to get exposed to a lot more of the punk side of things, and friends that I was skating and hanging out with, they were all keen to start playing some music. And I think that's just, and then there was a DJ that used to play on Sunday night, a British guy that used to play a lot of old, Exploited, Sex Pistols, a lot of the old British punk. And think just with a combination of that is what got me into into playing music. And thankfully, I had some friends that were as excited as I was about picking up an instrument and not having a clue what we're doing with it, but we somehow kept at it, and here we are.
Absolutely. One thing I really picked out about your music was how short they were, how short the songs were. They're very, very intense. Some songs are super melodic, and you can tell you went for more of a catchy sound for some things, but for the most part, they are very short songs. Was that to keep the viewer really interested for like, hey, if you could sit down for 2.5 minutes to listen to this song, you're going to dig this song, kind of thing? Was that kind of your intentions, was just keep the viewer intrigued?
To be honest with you, we really don't think that much into it. We when we write a song, it's what feels good. So if the song feels right, I mean, I think we have like a 40-second song or a 30-second song that we released last year, and it just felt right to have it at that length. It didn't make sense to make it any longer. So whatever feels right, we're definitely not going to make a song a specific length just for the sake of making it a specific length.
Yeah.
But with that being said, though, I feel like it was kind of after we wrote the songs. There's only so much space on a 7-inch, right? So we knew that we could only put 2 songs per side, and if we made them longer than 3 minutes, you're probably pushing your luck. So it just made sense to keep them at that length. But yeah, I mean, short and punchy is what punk rock is, right? I mean, there's certain songs that were great at 4 or 5 minutes, but I think with the stuff that we're playing, in and out, give you a good smack in the face, and on to the next one.
Hell yeah. I'd love to see one of your shows, because I mean, if your songs are kind of in that length, you finish that song, you're on to the next song. You finish that song, you're on to the next song. You could get a lot of songs in that 30-minute time slot or hour time slot.
If we had my way, we'd get a lot more songs in. But Josh, the vocalist, he needs to, and understandable, he needs to take a break between a couple of songs. Yeah. I totally believe in just song after song after song, maybe one break, and that's it. But he needs to take a couple of breaks. So I'm always, you'll notice on stage, I'm always kind of rushing him. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go. Because I don't like the empty silence and nothing going on. It's got to be, full on. So we could probably get a lot more songs in if we had it my way. But no, I mean, our sets are 20, 30 minutes long. And I think that's a great amount of time for someone to get to know us, enjoy us, and then still leave them wanting more, right?
Exactly.
Get them coming back for the next show.
Exactly. Yeah, you mentioned like his vocals, they're very, very intense. So like I understand completely why he would need that break.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Sometimes like I think I speak for pretty much every musician. Dead sound in a venue is eerie. Like, like when they turn off the house radio at the Bovine, if the band's not going right away, you're kind of just like, what's going on? Like,
it's awkward, but that's also something that you learn as you get more experienced. You start learning to. I think rules do a reasonably good job. They've always got, between songs, they've always got like some sort of sound effect going between the songs, and so they definitely eliminate that worry. They always put on such a great show.
Yeah, you know what? I'm wondering if that's I mean, I'll have to ask Chuck, but I'm wondering if that's a Chuck Cole's inspired thing, because when I hear Rules play, how their songs kind of go one into another. Organ Thieves did the exact same thing. Like, if you ever see Organ Thieves has their songs kind of go one into the other, and it's generally the guitar that kind of pushes it into the next riff, right?
Yeah, could very well come from Chuck. I mean, I've forgotten the guitarist's name now, but I mean, he definitely one hell of a talented guitarist, and I also think he can't help himself but want to just get some sounds out of that guitar. He doesn't want to stop playing at all, So it's which keeps the drive and the drive and the passion throughout the whole set going, which is great.
Absolutely. So your relationship with Al Nolan, obviously you guys did this little deal with Curse Blessings Records. Al's, for those who don't know who Al is, you need to know who Al is. Al is, he was the lead of Down Below's, and he was also the lead of Almighty Trigger Happy. Just legendary Canadian punk bands that really brought up a ton of talent. So Andrew, how did you meet Al, and what has your relationship with him in a working idea been?
He's a fucking great guy. It's funny because I knew of Trigger Happy back in South Africa. They weren't very popular back home, but I knew them from a couple of, I think, compilation or a four-way split that they did with Good Riddance and Leeway and one other band. So I already had a good amount of respect for him just from that, not knowing him personally, obviously. And then we played at the Bovine once, and I'm not even sure that I knew he was there. And he came out afterwards and had a chat with, while we were playing, he came into, I think he was doing the door, and he came in to, check us out. And after the show, he went up to Josh and he was like, yeah, man, like, you guys really great. And, just to hear that from someone who's been in the scene for so long really meant a lot. And since then, we've stayed in touch. So we've known him for a good year or two. He's helped us get on one or two shows. We've played a couple of shows with him, and it's just been a great relationship. And then he decided to start up Curse Blessings, and he said that he absolutely wanted to put something out for us, and that's again a great ask. So we were stoked, and it's been great ever since. And him and Doug, his partner at the company, have just been. They've been so great to us, busting their asses, doing a lot of work, getting, and sorry, I should mention Gabe as well, doing a lot of good work for us. And we're totally stoked, and hopefully it's a relationship that we keep going for a very long time.
I'm sure it will. And if it doesn't, you'll know it, because Al's, one thing I love about Al is he is a straight shooter, man. That guy will tell you exactly how he feels and will not hold back. And that's what I love about Al. He's a human. He's the authentic.
He's a passionate guy. He's a passionate guy. I've definitely learned to, I don't want to say tread lightly around him, because I think him and I now have a good relationship where I can tell him what I'm thinking and he can tell me what he's thinking, and we're not going to get our feelings hurt. We know it's business. I know what he's like. He knows what I'm like. So it works out well, and I'm stoked to know him and sort of be working with him.
Absolutely. So I know I've talked to you a little bit before off the air about my favorite song is on your project. I fell in love with the song Side Roads on the project. What would, obviously as a musician, you're going to love all your songs because you put the effort into it collectively, and that's you put your passion into it. You're going to enjoy it. But if there's a song that really you just can't get tired of listening to, which one would that be for you?
Oh man, it's a tough one. I'm probably going to say, as you can see, I'm looking down at the back of the 7-inch because I can't remember the name of the songs. Don't Waste My Time is probably my favorite, just because of the way Josh sings it. He's got anger in his voice in the majority of our songs, but he definitely feels this song. And I just, I thoroughly love the riffs that we've got going in there. And I also get the chance to do a little bass line thing in the middle of it, which I enjoy playing. Don't Waste My Time would probably be my favorite on the record. Yeah,
absolutely. So this question's, I'm throwing everything out the window for this question here. My buddy and I were talking earlier, And one thing you mentioned is you should ask about like physical activity. Sorry, one sec here.
Oh, professional.
No,
I love it.
You should ask about physical activity in for musicians. And I was like, absolutely, that's a good call. So in the sport of Euro, I can't believe this person keeps calling me. In the sport of Euro soccer, what would your is there something that you do in order to better be a musician? So like whether it's, you know, going for runs, things like that to build up your cardio when you're on stage. Do you do anything like physical activity wise outside of music that may assist you?
My workout is playing shows and at rehearsal. You know what? I do a really small, pathetic amount of working out during the week, but I've never been that kind of a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go jogging. You know, now that I'm getting a little bit older, I'm trying to be a bit more fit, but no, there's nothing really that I'm doing with the exception of you know, a little bit of workout, sort of every second evening or something like that. But it's funny that you mentioned that, because I was actually thinking about that the other day and realizing that once we get back up and start playing, I'm definitely going to be winded. Even if it is 15 minutes into the set, I know I'm going to be winded. So it's probably something that I need to concentrate on and take up. So no, I don't think any of us in the band, like Steve, he does a lot of physical work just for work.
Yeah.
So I'm sure he gets his workouts enough through that. But I know Josh and I sit behind a computer all day, so we're definitely lazy buggers, that's for sure.
Yeah, and you know what, with musicians, I think it is a beneficial thing, you know, like for vocalists, like if they can,
Absolutely.
you know, if they can hold their breath underwater for a longer period of time, I'm sure it's going to help them when they get on stage and stuff. So,
oh, absolutely, man. I mean, you know, I only do a couple of backup vocals on a few songs, and it tires me out. So, you know, yeah. So I know that I need to get back into some sort of cardio workout. But yeah, I just haven't been much of a sports person. You know, like it's either skateboarding or nothing, and you know, I don't really pick up the board much these days, so it doesn't give me much of a workout.
I feel that. So
you got me thinking now. So now you have to do something.
no, that's good though. That's good. I just I like to ask that question because I mean, like, especially being that I was a hip hop artist before I started this podcast. That was something that I did like all the time, and I didn't do a lot of shows. But when I would do shows, you know, we'd do like a 40-minute set or something like that, 30-minute set. And my voice would be going by the end of it. And I would be exhausted. I'm like, you know what? I just want to sit down and just relax at this point because I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah, but I mean, you're also busting out like lyrics almost non-stop, right? So that's definitely going to take a lot, you know, just on your cardio. So yeah, it makes perfect sense. And I mean, at the end of the day, apart from just being a healthier way to live, it absolutely will improve your performance and just general stage performance for sure.
Absolutely. So Andrew, one question I like to ask because venues are struggling, I'm going to leave it more at just what is a venue that you hold true to your heart. Personally, for me, it's the Bovine. I love the Bovine Sex Club. It's got to be my favorite venue in Toronto. But what's a venue that you really hold close to you?
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, man. The Bovine is Toronto. It's like, I mean, there's like, you know, Hard Luck Bar is awesome. There's so many rad venues out there, and I don't want to take anything away from any of them. But Bovine, man, just from the staff, all the staff are amazing. The vibe there is amazing. They always have great bands. Just such a welcoming place. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to visit Toronto, that is one place you have got to go to. Just purely, I mean, again, just from the fact of how crazy and weird it looks inside, but I mean, and outside. But yeah, Bovine is definitely I'm probably going to say like the best venue I have ever been to out of all my of all my traveling, the bovine is number one for sure.
That's an impressive feat for the bovine. Then that's very good.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So yeah, Andrew, I'm going to wrap this up, brother. I appreciate you coming on the podcast. Where can people find the new record?
So you can go to curseblessingsrecords.com and you can order it online from there. You can also, once we start playing shows, hopefully you'll be able to get it from us at the merch table. I know that Rotate This has them, so you can pop over there as well. I think Cops Records in Oshawa, they've just got a handful of records. But yeah, and if you're struggling, just send me an email at choicesmadetoronto@gmail.com and I'll sort you out.
Perfect. Awesome. I really appreciate it, Andrew. You have a great rest of your evening, man, and thank you for taking the time out of your day.
Hey, thank you.
And
I appreciate you having me on the show, man. That's it means a lot. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Anytime, brother. Let's meet up at the bovine one of these days as well. Okay, bud?
Oh, hell yeah. Definitely have a couple of drinks.
Absolutely, man.
Awesome. Thanks, Kennedy. Appreciate it, man.
Buns, check.
Hot dogs, mustard, check.
Ketchup.
Hot stuff. Nah.
Where's the hot stuff? I didn't bring it.
Yeah.
So good with the hot stuff? Very good with the hot stuff.